What's up, everybody? Back to talk about Tony Ferguson again. Um, you know, this video I'm about to talk about might be a little strange to some of y'all, but let me just list the reasons before I get comments saying, GNS, you don't know what you're talking about. This fight makes no sense. No, nobody wants to see it. Well, look, both these guys are top 10 guys in their respective weight classes. First of all. Second of all, they're both finishers. They both have had finishes. They both have made lots of money in the UFC. Both money fights. I think this guy's actually a bigger pay-per-view draw than Tony Ferguson. But if these two were to fight, I'm pretty sure it would sell anyways. Reason number 3, they're both coming off at least 3 losses or more. All right. And again, number 4, they both are coming off losses to the very best in the world in their respective weight classes. All right. And number 5, neither one of these guys has been an undisputed champion. Okay? So, if you get the hints, you got it. Jorge Masvidal. First off, I really considered Tony Ferguson fighting one of the Diaz brothers next. But Nate Diaz will probably fight Hamzat, or he really wants to leave the UFC. I mean, I don't know. I just don't see that fight selling as big as it would for Masvidal. Excuse me. See, this fight would be huge for the UFC. Think about it. Again, they're both coming off losses. They're both really good strikers. They're both big names. There's really no beef between these guys. But again, it's a fight that people would really want to see. And it's a winnable fight for both guys. Think about it. They're both finishers. Jorge knocks people out a lot. Tony Ferguson gets a lot of TKOs. He cuts people up with his elbows and his kicks. He's fast. But Jorge can always put you out with one big punch or a big strike and follow it up with other strikes. So this is a fight. And the thing is, both guys have struggled against wrestlers. So this fight would be huge. If not a main event on pay-per-view or a fight night. Let's scratch fight night. They're both worth more than that. No offense to fight night guys. But, the money's at the pay-per-view is where the money is. If not the third fight, the very least a co-main event of a mega pay-per-view card. Where there's the title fight and then you have Masvidal versus Ferguson. Here's the thing. Masvidal has lost 3 fights in a row. Ferguson's lost 4. The stakes would be higher for Ferguson because he's coming off 4 losses. He's been finished in 2 of his last 4 fights. Yes, he looked good, but he still lost. Masvidal has not looked good, but he's been fighting the 2 best welterweights in back-to-back fights. So if he were to lose to Tony Ferguson, a guy who's undefeated at welterweight or almost has never lost before at welterweight, won the Ultimate Fighter at welterweight, it doesn't look bad for Jorge Masvidal. And the thing is, this is probably going to be a really good fight if they fight at welterweight. And the advantage goes to Masvidal because Masvidal's bigger. But again, Ferguson has a lot of technique on the feet. He's very difficult. And the thing is, neither one's going to go for a takedown. So you're not going to see 2 guys trying to cuddle in the middle of the cage. You're going to see 2 guys come out to the center of the cage and start banging. So I really think that Tony Ferguson should take his break, reconsider what he wants to do. He should move up to welterweight and fight Jorge Masvidal. That's who I think his fight should be against. Because Jorge has struggled in his last 3. Tony has struggled in his last 4. Again, the pressure's on Tony. But again, Tony has had a lot of success at welterweight. And he's openly said he wants to fight at welterweight anyway. Masvidal needs a fight where it's a winnable fight for him and a fight where he can make some money. I'm pretty sure Tony Ferguson would bring money to that fight. And let's say they have the press conference, neither one talks crap to each other. It's still a fight that sells, but imagine if they talk crap to each other. That fight would really sell, especially in the Latin community, in Mexico, Cuba, stuff like that, if that makes sense. You bring in a bigger range of, a bigger range of people, a bigger audience. So I would love to see that fight. I think that fight would sell. As far as who would win that fight, I'd have to go with El Cucuy just because I like Tony Ferguson and I don't want to see him lose no more. I don't think Jorge would. Unless Jorge lands a big punch or a knockout blow on the feet, let's be honest, he's not going to try to take Tony Ferguson down. He's not going to submit Tony. Tony's not doing that to him either. It's going to be a straight-up fist fight between 2 dogs, 2 of the very best in the world. One's a top 10 lightweight, one's a top 10 welterweight. But that lightweight used to be a welterweight who won the Ultimate Fighter at welterweight while being coached by Brock Lesnar. But yeah, I think that would be a big fight for the UFC. That would sell big time. And it's win-win for either guy. If Tony loses, he still makes a big paycheck. He probably retires. But at this point, he has nothing to prove in his career. It's not his fault to be they want to fight him. So if Jorge loses, he can still fight again because he's such a big draw, and that means if Tony wins, he propels himself back into the winning streak and possibly either fights for a #1 contendership fight, or he could be an alternate guy between the title fight at lightweight next, which should be Makachev and Oliveira. Let's say one of them gets hurt, Tony's in there, he gets a title shot. So I would pick Ferguson to win this fight, and there's more riding on Ferguson to win this fight because he has to win, or otherwise he would get cut.